Hello everyone, I am Dr. Manveen Brar from GWPC Sanganer, Jaipur, and the topic for discussion today is use of modals part 1. Let me tell you that I have tried to explain the modals in detail, so it has resulted in three short presentations. In the first one, we will look at half the modals and half of them in the second part, and the third part will be a review and practical application of these modals, how we fill in the blanks and how you have to attempt these questions when you get them in your exams. So please keep it in mind that it is in three parts. Over here you can see a chart which is just trying to familiarize you with modals. What are modals? Modal word actually comes from mood. It tells you how any activity means a proper verb, an act is going to be performed. As you can see, possibility. The three modals for that are could, might, may. To express certainty, we have must and should. For advice, we have should, shouldn't. For obligation, again, we have must, have to, don't have to. And for granting permission, you have can, must not, cannot, and then you also have may. So this was just to give you a brief overview of what we will be studying in this. Modals, the proper term for modals is modal auxiliaries. Auxiliary is a Latin word which means to help. Modal auxiliaries or modal verbs, they are special verbs which behave irregularly in English. They are different from your normal verbs like work, play, visit, write, speak, sleep, which you are more familiar with and used to. These modals give additional information about the function of the main verb which always follows it. They have a great variety of communicative functions. Some characteristics of modal verbs are they never change their form. You cannot add s, ed, ing to them. They are used to indicate mood. Now, mood and modal, there you can see a connection there. It allows speakers to express certainty, possibility, willingness, obligation, necessity, ability. The list of modal verbs in our syllabus for modern office management courses and for the 3-year diploma courses are will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, must, mustn't, needn't, dare not, ought to, used to. So we will have a look at all modals, but we will study these in a little bit more detail. Here is another table which tells you about modals, their uses along with examples. For example, can is used to show ability, suggestion, request, and is used in these ways. He can find any street in London. You can take a taxi. Can't, of course, means something that cannot be done, which you are unable to do. It expresses impossibility. This story can't be true. Next is could. It means ability, request, and suggestion in the past. I could play tennis when I was younger. May is used for possibility, formal request, permission. In fact, what I have observed practically is that may is the modal for permission. There are others as well, but In the present times, may is the modal used for requesting permission as well as granting permission. Then you have might, which is remote possibility. Must, when something is compulsory, you are compelled to do it. Need to means obligation. You need to study a lot. Need not means lack of obligation. You have a choice whether to go ahead with the particular work or let it be. Must not is a very strong modal which expresses prohibition. Should and ought to actually are the same. You can use any one of them. It means something which you are advised to do, which you have a moral responsibility to do. So this was a chart. Now here is the use of modals in detail. First of all, let us look at will. Will helps us in the formation of the future tenses. Any speaker of English will know that whenever we have to say that we are going to do something in the future, we will use the modal will. I will go to Mumbai tomorrow. Will also expresses willingness, that you are ready to do something. I will help you as far as I can. And in interrogative sentences, in questions, we use it in the form of a polite request. Will you please close the door? Will you please help me? Then will expresses determination. When you have a very strong opinion about something or you have a very determined plan, I will become a doctor. We will win the match. Lastly, will expresses possibility or prediction. When there is a very strong possibility of something happening, like it's a very cloudy day and it is about to rain, we can say it will rain. When we are almost sure of a result, then we can use this modal for possibility. So just have a look at it again. Will is used in these circumstances. First, for formation of the future tense, for willingness, in questions, to express determination, and to express very strong possibility of an event. Shall, let me point out, is a modal more associated with older British English. These days we do not use shall. Maybe in your childhood you were taught that with I and we, the first person, you should use shall. But that is very rarely done these days. It has been replaced by will. Shall we mostly use either in the form of an offer or suggestion, like shall I make a cup of coffee for you? Shall I drop you at the college? Or shall we go for a picnic? That is what shall is mostly used for. And in some cases, shall is also used to express a kind of a veiled threat or command. Your superior or your teacher can tell you, you shall submit your project tomorrow. That is the hidden threat that if you do not do it, there is some punishment for you. So shall, two things, suggestion, offering, and command or threat. Next is can. It is one of the easiest of the modals. It expresses your ability to do something. The ability can be temporary or permanent. I can drive a car. He can speak 4 languages. This is what can is mostly used for, ability. But sometimes when the examiner sets the paper, instead of using the word ability, he uses the synonyms which are capability and capacity. So please don't get confused. It is the very same can that you have to fill in the blanks. Can is used to grant permission also, but not so much in the present times. Can't is also used as a idiom. I can't help getting late. But what you need to remember is can is the modal for ability, capability and capacity. Next is may. May is the most commonly used and formal way of asking for permission. May I come in? May I sit down? May I borrow your car? So this is the one which is most prevalent for asking for permission as well as granting permission. Somebody says, may I come in? Yes, you may. May I borrow your car? Yes, you may. So may for requesting permission and for granting permission. May expresses possibility. When there is 50% probability of an event happening, then we use this modal may. I may come to your house in the evening. He may get a good job. Thirdly, may expresses wishes and greetings, blessings. May you live long. May she have good health. So let's review. May, asking and granting permission for possibility and for expressing wishes. Next we come to would. Would is the past tense of will and it expresses suggestion or a polite request when it is used before a main verb. Would you close the door please? Would you like a cup of tea? Would is also used to express the imagined result of an imagined condition. I would build a hospital if I won a lottery. I would take you to the moon if I were a cosmonaut. I hope you have noticed that in these sentences there is the use of the word if. If this happens, then I will do that. Imagined result of an imagined condition. So this is to be continued in the next part. So please join up again for the next part. Thank you.